Back in 2019, when I jumped on socials, people were like, "Oh, you blew up so quickly." Realistically, it was a whole.
Even with myself, like when I was younger, he goes, Matthew McConaughey, he's speaking about, he goes, every night before bed, plans this whole day. If you don't, how you structure your days.
As much as I do social media as a job, I don't actually watch it that much. I try not to procrastinate on it because it's like a whole 14-year grind. People want it there and then.
So what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Visionation Success Stories podcast. Today, my very special guest is Birmingham's one and only Luke Vernon. How you doing, my bro?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a long time coming, this podcast. We've been trying to get a hold of you, but you're a busy man.
Yeah, it's been back and forth, so a lot of messaging, phone calls. I'm very busy, but it's been a while since I've actually had like 2-3 days. So today is actually like, I've still got to do some work later, but it's kind of a free day, so we're here.
Yeah, I know when you told me, he was like, oh, the weekend's free, and I was like, no, because you was like always busy. And even for you, like, if you, like today you said you got a free day, but you're still working. Yeah. You're always still going to be working, like maybe not as much as before. Yeah,
I feel, to be honest, like the workload that I do have is obviously, I feel so grateful to having it, but like sometimes it's like, this is why I've been booking so many holidays this year, because I'm just trying to force myself to have breaks. Do you know what I mean? So.
But you're even working on your holidays though, I know you are.
Yeah, I still have to work on my holidays as well, so I'm still filming whilst I'm out there, I'm still editing, I'm still back and forth with negotiations and stuff, so.
Because I've just seen you around and you're just always busy, always doing something, always recording something or filming, but yeah. So for the viewers who may not know who you are, tell us a bit about yourself.
Luke Vernon from Birmingham. Started off as an actor and then went into social media, presenting, motivational speaking, and now I do all four, so just a wide range of different jobs.
How long would you say you've been kind of working your way towards where you are now? Because I know there's a lot of blocks.
Yes, there's loads of blocks, man. It started when I was 17, really, when I went to college to study drama. I've done that for 2 years, and then I went to drama school, done that for 3 years, and then I became an actor, done that for 5 years, and then eventually jumped on social media. So I already had 10 years of graft before I jumped on socials, and then when I jumped on socials, people were like, "Oh, you blew up so quickly," but realistically, it was a whole 10 years before I even done that, and that was back in 2019. So I've been doing socials now for 4 years? Yeah, so
people don't see
it's like a whole 14-year grind. People want it there and then. But
because it might seem like if I come across you and I just see, he's like blew up overnight, but it's the consistency and the work ethic towards that. Because even with myself, like I could consider myself a content creator now, but when I was younger, like when I look back now, I'd be making like YouTube videos on FIFA and like Call of Duty and stuff, and now I look back and I was like, it makes kind of sense, like I was doing that, but at that time it was just fun for me. Yeah,
that's what I mean. You're having fun with it, but then the more you do it, the more you realise, the more you know how you want to react at things, the more like natural you just get into that mode, you know what I mean? So it is all work at the end of the day. Yeah.
Would you say you've always been this charismatic as you are now?
Oh yeah. From like from like the age of whenever I was speaking, like I was always outspoken, always playful, couldn't really sit down, and now I feel like I've just used that to my advantage. Like I'm a true advocate for being like that and showing people that not the same way, like the schooling system, for instance, like that wasn't built for me. I wasn't built for school. Like I'd be itching to like stand up, be practical, be talking, and when I've got to be like sit down, be boxed in and be quiet, just not for me. I can't concentrate. I'll just fall asleep, or I just lose concentration and end up being the class clown. Yeah,
it's not fulfilling your true potential if you just doing exams and stuff like that. If you're not interested in it, because I've been to university and like I didn't enjoy it at all. But this
is what I mean. There's so many people that go to university to study something that they actually don't want to do, and it's mainly because of parents. Like it's mainly because parents want them to do this, and I feel like me now being a father, like when my son gets to an age where he wants to do what he wants to do, I'm just going to support him the same way my mum did. Like, my mum was just like, go do whatever you want to do and I'll support it. And that's the plan for all my kids when I eventually have some more. So
yeah. Well, here's the thing though, like I didn't want to do it and I didn't like doing it, but I'm happy that I did it. I don't regret like doing it basically. I enjoyed it, and it's something for me that I can maybe fall back on one day or can use to my benefit. And
it's good to have. It's definitely good to have, because sometimes you realize that you do it and it's like, this is not what I want to do. So at least I found that out. But also, it's also good to have something as security, because like right now with my type of work, I don't really have the security. If this completely stops, all I've got is everything that I've invested into. So I'll be fine financially, but for my mental state and what I want to do, I'll be like, ooh, what is it I'm now going to do? Yeah.
Well, I feel like the way you've built up your personal brand, it's like, that's why people talk about personal brand a lot. Even if one like source of your income like shut down completely, because of who you are, people will still buy from you, or
I'm just hoping I don't get cancelled. Like, nobody cancel me. Like, I'm making sure I don't say nothing wild. But I'm just saying in the worst case scenario, if that was to happen, then
yeah. And I think it's important as well. So in your TED talk that I listened to, you talk about the 3 acceptance,
gratefulness, and action.
Yeah. That was really like important and resonated with me quite a bit. Like I'm saying as well with the thing where I went to university, but I wasn't regretting it. I wasn't happy that I did it. Maybe I could have done something else, but that taught me things, and you should always look for the silver lining in things. And I feel like that's part of what you spoke about with acceptance and sacrifice and I think it was I was watching a clip from Alex Hormozi, and he speaks about if you had to make the best version of someone, would you give them an easy life? Would you give them a hard life? Because strong character is only built by a hard life, and you can't have both.
I truly believe that. There's so many hard things that I've gone through, and I know that if I didn't go through them, I wouldn't be in this position right now, because it built my brain to be like, go get it, because life is too short. Where before that all that happened, I was like lazy, lapsadaisy, just thinking, everything's fun, but I wasn't actually like pursuing things. So all them things that have happened over the years has only given me the drive to get where I am now. And I'm still at a stage where I'm nowhere near done in my head. I've still got like another 8 to 10 years graft of where when I'll be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna hang up my gloves. I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah. Would you say from the beginning you've always looked forward to like taking on challenges or battles, or was it something that you gradually got into? I'm very competitive in what I do. I'm very responsive to big things. So if I feel like that's like a massive challenge, I'm like, I want to go for it. And I feel like I've never been one to just take the easy route. So I'm always trying to, if anything, it makes more. So I get work here. True story. I get work and they'll send me like a brief of what's happening in the day, and I purposely don't in depth read it, not because of laziness, but because when I read it too much, I'll then start to worry and stress about it. But if I just turn up on the day and I just freestyle and flow with it, you get the natural Luke. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like I'm not thinking this is how I'm going to react, this is what I'm going to do. I'm literally just being me, and you get the best version of me, and that's the way I prefer to do my work. 100% agree, like staying authentic as well. And that relates to me in this in the podcast, because at the start of the podcast I was writing down all my questions. Not that it's good not that it's bad to prepare, but I was writing down all my questions and I would send it to the guy and be like, this is roughly what I'm going to ask. And I just think I know in my head like what kind of topics I want to speak about, and I just freestyle it. And it comes out much better.
It's much better. Like when you're going through sometimes I feel like you can prepare too much. If you prepare too much, it then just it won't come across authentic. So
but it is important to prepare as well.
I'm not saying don't prepare. Like it depends what your personality is. It depends how you are as a person. Like even when I started my socials, if you went through my notes, there was research. of what I thought worked, what I thought didn't work, what I feel like I can bring to it. Research, deciding like my plan of going through it, and then I attacked. So I'm not saying don't prepare, because I do prepare things, but I also know that the way that I work, now that I've got to a stage where I can comfortably go into jobs and not have to over prepare, that's where I'm at. But like, there will be times where if I'm doing an acting gig, I obviously have to prepare my lines. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just turn up and be like, yeah, I'm going to freestyle the whole scene. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a thing. So yeah, you do have to prepare, but I feel like you can over prepare sometimes if you and not come across authentic. I
think that comes as well from passion for your craft. Like, for you to prepare and just research things, I think it comes naturally. For me, it's come naturally. Well, I think, for example, like, I'm getting you on the podcast, like, I'm going to do my research on you, not just turn up and not know what you do, but like, so what do you do? And then I'm like, okay.
That's the worst, yeah. So sometimes I get thrown, it's not even my fault, I'll get thrown into a situation where I've got to interview someone on the, like, 10 minutes before I'm about to interview them, and I have no idea who they are. And they're like, yeah, just ask some cool questions. And I'm like, So they start talking about things that they've done, because they think as the interviewer, I'm going to know about the interviewee. So they're just talking to me about the things that they've done and the reason why they're here. And I'm like, people could have briefed me on this, man. Like, what is going on? And I'm just going, I knew about that. But like, I guess that's just the ability I have to still make it flow.
What do you do in that situation?
You just, bro, you either be very honest, which I've done sometimes. I'll be like, can't lie, I've just been given this mic to interview and I have no idea what's happening. Like, you're going to have to explain in depth why you are who you are, you know what I mean? Because I'll be like, do you know me? And they'll be like, no. And I'll be like, do I know you? Well, no. So let's work it out, kind of, and then let's do it, you know what I mean? So sometimes it's about doing that, or you just pretend you know what's going on.
Guess you just go along with it.
Yeah.
So in relation to the preparation, you also speak about how you structure your days, and you have like alarms for everything and that kind of thing. How much does that help you, and do you do that every single day?
Yeah, that helps me a lot. So I have an alarm on my phone that goes off every day at 4:00 and 7:00, and that's my time to say, this is content hour. So upload the videos, edit the videos, go through the social media, because as much as I do social media as a job, I don't actually watch it that much. I try not to procrastinate on it, because it's my work. So some people will be like, have you seen this trend? And I'll be like, no, because I'm out here like creating my own trends. So I'm trying not to watch it as much, so I can have these alarms set for me to like reply to comments, like comments, start sharing things, and then once I feel like I've done that, I'll come off, just so I can like live my normal life, because I don't want that to completely consume me. But these alarms, if I didn't have them, I'd naturally just forget. So if the alarm goes off if the alarm didn't go off at 4 and I was meant to upload at 4, I'd be like, I was at a conference the other day and I had to turn my alarms off because it was going to go off during the conference, and then I forgot to turn them on the next day, and I had my content scheduled for 4 and 7. One was an advert, and my managers had to ring me and be like, you haven't uploaded, what's going on? And I was like, completely forgot to turn my alarm back on. So yeah, they're very important to me. Yeah.
Do you have your like a task list as well?
A task list?
Yeah.
I used to have a like an everyday task list of what it is that I was doing. Now we have like a whiteboard in the flat, and it's like, I guess that's a task list really, but it's like usually just the work. So the jobs that we've accepted, how far it is we've done it, have we filmed it, have we edited it, have we wrote it, like we've got all the tick boxes, and then once it's done we like cross it out and then on to the next. So, and then when like it's like a deadline for things to be handed in, so we still have a lot of schedule with what we do.
Would you say that builds discipline in you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, with writing down your tasks as well, you eliminate like a bit of procrastination as well if you've got your tasks written down, and also gives you accomplishment, because even in my day-to-day job, like, there's a lot of things go on, and you got to make sure you prioritize them in terms of importance and urgency and stuff like that. Yeah. But then if you've got too much and you think, look, I've got this much to do, and you won't even start. If you start from the small, or you take one task on, and then eventually you conquer it. Yeah. And I think I saw a clip I can't remember which actor it was. I think it was Matthew McConaughey. He's speaking about, he goes, every night before bed, just plans this whole day, or just all the tasks that you need to do in order of like your priority, and then you bang it out the next day. Because if you don't, then you're unprepared, and you don't have, I guess, the motivation or determination to actually take it out, like carry on and do it. And I think that's really important for like young entrepreneurs and young people that are, getting started in business, and there might be viewers that are watching, they want to get started in something. And I think these kind of things, like small things like that, is going to help them. Like, they don't need to start a multi-million-dollar business straight away.
Oh yeah, that's the small minority of people that do that. And I feel like people always want a quick fix. People want it here and now, where the realistic life is, sometimes it takes time. And then once it hits, it then becomes like a here and now. And you're like, whoa, where's that come from? And adding on to, like about planning out your days and stuff and putting them things in place, I feel like when things come in and you've got a task to do, it's always, in my head, it's always better to do it sooner rather than later. So in school, I used to always leave my homework until the last minute. Always leave the coursework, or always leave the revising until the last minute. But as soon as something gets accepted and you can go, get it done as soon as possible. It gives you that discipline to just get things ready and finished, because then you're not leaving it all to pile on a massive list and you're trying to cram it all into one day. Like, that makes things worse every single time. So I always implore people to just, as soon as you know what you want to do, same like the gym, for instance. Everyone always talk about, I'm going to go to the gym Monday, and it's like Wednesday. Do you know what I mean? Like, just go tonight, first thing in the morning tomorrow. Go now if it's like that. If you've got a suitable time to go. Like, why are we always pushing things back to a further date when you can just do things immediately? Obviously, we have our priorities, we have our things that are more important, but get them done as soon as possible. Yeah,
I think it's a lot of, in the human nature just to be lazy as well, because with the gym thing you said, like, if you decided, I'm going to go on Monday, but then you said, let me just go today, and you feel shit about it, but then when you actually do it, you're not going to feel shit after. No one really feels shit after gym unless you got injured or something. But
no, I hate the gym. Like, I hate going to the gym. However, I know how important it is to me, not just physically, but mentally, because like you just said, as soon as you come out, you're like, I'm so grateful that I've done that. Yeah. Like, I've still got to go to the gym today, and I 100% don't want to go, but I'm going to go. But I 100% do not want to go, but it has to be done.
So yeah, just touching back on the quick fix, did you ever feel like that was kind of attacking you when you was like in your grind and rising up through levels? Did you ever think that you was not doing well, or like, I want this, and you might see something, because it's just easy to get consumed by it. Like, everyone does. Like, there's certain points where you might see something, and obviously social media is a big factor in that. Obviously there's good sides of it, but there's these bad sides that we're talking about. So did you have that when you was like coming up?
I always envisioned, and I still do, huge success from it. So whether that be followers, whether that be financial, or whether that just be like huge success in myself, like mentally in myself. And I'll tell you the true story of my grind of where I've been. The happiest I was creating content was when I was at the start grinding and broke, like extremely hungry for it. And I remember I went and lived in a small flat that cost next to nothing, and I only had to work enough to like feed myself. So I only went and picked up like odd jobs to like I don't know, like 10 hours a week to try and get £100, and then that was my food for the week. And then all I was doing was content, grind, having fun, just doing my thing. And that was one of the happiest times I've ever been doing content. Yeah. Now I'm in oh my God, I'm never going to complain with where I am now, but there's so much more pressure now to creating content than when it was then, because I was just so much more free. Where now, because work's coming in, you have to, 1, watch what you say, 2, you have to perform, 3, you have to like obviously make a video for a brand or for a client, and it just adds so much more pressure. And because I've now got a huge following, I'm now at the stage where as much as I can tell myself like I don't care about views, it does affect work. So then that adds added pressure. So like where I'm at right now, it's like I've still got to perform at the highest caliber in order to continue to work. Where before, just upload. Couldn't care less. And I have a smidge of that now, but it used to be so much more bigger because there was just no pressure with it. And that's when I was the most happiest, or one of the most happiest, when I was creating content.
Yeah. Would you say that's just the main reason, the pressure, or would there be like something else as well that you think?
I think it's the pressure, but also at the start, it's a start with anything, like a relationship, a new job. At the start, it's always that fire, you know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, I've got this burn inside of me, let's go get it. And then like anything, you start to get used to things. Do you know what I mean? So then my personality then always wants like something new. So, what's next? And that's like an issue that I have in myself, because I know that I don't know when I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm going to take a break, because when I take a break, I'm like, I need to get up and do. But that's just my personality. That's just the way that I'm built. And is it going to be detrimental in the future? Who knows? But I also know that I want to put things in place that I can just relax and chill. Because my best friend has said, like when we'll be out at places, and he said to me, like, Luke, you're here, but you're not here. And it's just because there's so much things that are going on in my brain that I'm like, I need to start living in the moment so much more. And this past year, I've been working on that so much more than what was happening prior. Yeah. I feel like that's very important.
I don't think there is any stopping, especially for like entrepreneurs or someone that's always looking for new challenges. I don't think you ever really stop, because you could want to retire, you could make as much money as you want, you can retire, be successful, then go live on the beach, but then you get bored after like 2-3 months.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, just straight boredom, and I don't want to get to that stage of boredom. So I feel like regardless of creating things for money, I feel like I will still I'll obviously do some sort of hobby. Like I have to be up and doing something. I don't care if it's going to earn me money. I just want to be able to do things that are making me happy. And this year, I set myself a task to do 12 holidays in 12 months. Okay. And I'm on number 10 at the moment. So like, I continue. I feel like that's really good for me. Like just traveling and just getting out and just exploring and seeing the world. So by the time I feel like I'm ready to hang up my gloves, maybe that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, and just keep traveling around the world.
So just touching back on the thing where you said your friend said, you know, Luke, you're there, but you're not there. And about living in the moment. I think that's really important when you're like, especially like as an entrepreneur, if you're doing something that's creative and you're getting out there, you're building a business or you're building yourself, trying to be successful. It's really important that you don't forget to actually live, because I was watching a podcast recently, Stephen Bartlett's Diary of CEO. He had what's his name? Brian, the Airbnb CEO. Yeah. And I don't know if you watched it, but he just sounded really, really like down in the whole episode. I was just watching it, and he's just talking about like how kind of like he created like relationships and not like dealing with them, but just focusing on building the brand and stuff. That's like $50 billion company, and it's like he's so successful, but yet he hasn't given him that level of satisfaction. Obviously, I don't know him, but in that, it kind of like that's the kind of vibe I got from it. And I've seen that with a lot of successful people where they think getting to this level is going to give them satisfaction, but once you actually get there, it's like, what now? But maybe if you haven't lived and you haven't done the relationships, you've let something go. It makes a big difference, and it might fill you with regret, even though you've accomplished so much. And someone else might think like, wow, 50, like Airbnb is like a massive company. It's public. It's a public company, but
it's a quick fix. Yeah. That's what the same way we spoke about earlier. Like it's people out here. Like when you do all this success, it's like, yeah, this is going to make me happy. This is going to make me happy, and it does. Don't get me wrong, but is it sustainable? We don't know. The most like real thing in life is love and relationships, whether that be friendships, partners, work relationships. They're the things that keep us going. And I must give a big shout out to Munya Chihuahua, because I went to watch his show last night in Birmingham, and he said the same thing, and it was again resonated with me again when he said like, "You're there, but you're not here." And he was speaking about like being open about it, getting therapy, and just speaking to those closest to you, and spending time with those closest to you, and knowing what's important to you in life. And I was like, been feeling this for a minute, man. So I'm thinking like, obviously now it's time to continue my work, but in a safe way.
Yeah, because I think it's in like business or like entrepreneur culture where it's like so ingrained, just graph, work. Of course you have to do that. Like you can't. It's not going to be easy, but the kind of it's like bottled up pressure. Like if you don't stop and take some time for yourself, with family, with friends, or just relaxing, doing the things that you actually love, or hobbies and interests, it's not gonna be good, because you're gonna get burnt out. You're gonna get all up in your mind, because I think that kind of side of it is not really emphasized enough. I don't think, because people might consider it being like lazy or not graphing or whatever. Because a lot of the time when I'm working, I don't feel like I'm doing much. And I'm like, this person's probably doing this. These other people are like, doing so much, and I'm not grafting. I'm like, I need to do something.
And the joke is they are. This is what I mean. Like some people are doing way more than most people, but it's all about sacrifice. You as you, how much are you willing to sacrifice to go and get what you want? Yeah. So are you sacrificing friends, family, partners, relationship, kids? Like, what is it that you are willing to sacrifice? And to be honest, there is no right and wrong answer. It's down to the individual. But I know more about myself than most people. So it's all about, okay, cool, I've got to this stage now where I've sacrificed so much. Now I'm going to continue to sacrifice. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to be grinding, I'm still going to be grafting. But I'm in a position now where I can choose more sections of my life when I sacrifice and when I don't sacrifice. And I feel like that's the beauty of where I've got to, and the beauty of where I've got to in my mind as well, about understanding that, like, if I continue to do this, I will burn out. If I continue to do this, I may get depressed. So yeah, I think it gives you that purpose, but it's obviously important to live in the moment. And yeah, I think it gives you a purpose, and obviously it's important to just live in the moment, because you don't know how long you have left to live, so you just have to live fullest and live every day like it's your last. Yeah, it's very important to do that. And I feel like this is why it's so important when we have people that we lose in our lives through death. It's the hardest and most horrible thing to go through, but there's a section in your brain where you can really tap into that makes you go, this has happened, life's too short, let me go and get it. Yeah. And I feel like if you let it consume you to a state where you're not willing to do that, that's what you're going to need to work on. And I feel like I have a natural instinct to do that. Like, don't get me wrong, like, please, I've had enough of people being lost in my family and my friends and stuff, but it does give people a push. But it's like, how many times can it happen until you get pushed over? Yeah. You know what I mean? So it can have its pros and cons.
Yeah. I mean, my motto is everything happens for a reason. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, no, fully. I fully believe that, 100%.
Because I think that as well, having that like in your brain, because like, every time something happens, something bad happens, it's like happened for a reason. There's a lesson in there somewhere. You might not be able to see it, but it's there somewhere. And think about like death in families and around. Like me personally, I don't think I've had anyone close to me that's lost their life, but like I'm always thinking to the future, and I'm thinking there's going to be a time where it's going to come to me, and I'm really like scared, but I know I'm going to have to be a man about it. I'm going to have to, be ready to sort of like, endure that pain, go through it, but then also come out of it stronger, because everyone's got to go. Like, only one thing guaranteed in life is death for everyone. Yeah. So everyone's going to go, but it's just one of those ones where you have to, every obstacle and battle you get, you have to take it on with a brave face, and you have to, go get through it. Yeah. It's really important, and you spoke about it on your TED Talk, like I said, like it's accepting, and then the gratefulness as well. Grateful of everything around you and what you have, because there's people that don't have much. They don't have anything.
People that have nothing. Yeah. And And that's what makes me feel, when I have like a down day, I'm like, how dare I have a down day? Obviously, we're all allowed to have a down day, but like it's that thing in my brain that makes me feel like you've got so much around you. You've got so much love and support around you. There's so many things to be grateful for in life. Be grateful. And that makes me realize that I'm not just being stupid to have a down day because it's natural, but it makes it easier. Even if it's just a smidge easier, it'll make the day easier.
Yeah, I think as well, like being like that and thinking about, being grateful of what you have and other people don't have anything, it kind of like, it keeps you humble, keeps you grounded.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you forget about that and you only look up, then you're going to become arrogant, you're going to become like, you're going to be so out of touch with that side of it. You're just going to become a different person. But it's important to always stay grounded because, success and money, it's just a tool. It's just something that we use to get better. But
it's just something that our living society has created to be great now, where realistically, just being a good human should always be the forefront of what you're doing. Just be a good human, be a good person, and just don't be an arsehole. Like, there's just so many arseholes, and I'm just like, oh, you're so ungrateful. Like, to be in the positions that anybody watching this now, if you're able to watch this, you've got a phone or you watch it on a laptop, or like, there's going to be people out there that would love to see something like this, but they have no opportunity to see this at all and completely, you know what I mean? So yeah, there's so many different things to be grateful for, literally.
Yeah, because even people that don't have anything or have not much, they seem quite grateful. Like, you can tell, like, small things that for them are like their dreams, and it's crazy. There's that kind of perspective, but you should always understand that because that keeps you like grounded in that situation. But like you said, don't be an arsehole.
Don't be an arsehole.
Because one thing as well, I think one of the guys on the podcast, Sean, he mentioned it. He said that. What did he say? One sec. He said, if you're a bad person or if you're a good person, money will just bring more of that out of you. So if you're a good person, you're gonna be a better good person, if that makes sense. If you're a bad person, you're gonna become, you know what I mean?
Yep. Like, there's so many things around money where people will be like, if I had this much X, Y, and Z money, I'll be happy, etc., etc. Don't get me wrong, money makes things so much easier. Like, so it makes life more convenient. So in order to have it, you got so much access to so many different things. But again, if you're an arsehole and you have money, you're going to still be an arsehole, and you're going to be like, why isn't this making me happy? Yeah. So if you're just being a good person and you're getting the money as well, you're going to be so much more happier just going through the basics of life. And I'm in a position now where I've just got this natural thing about helping other people. So I know that makes me happy. So when I get this money now, I'll be trying to help out family, trying to help out friends. If we all go out for a meal, like I'll make sure I'm paying for it, like, because I know that when I was in a different position, paying for a meal put stress on my brain. So I'd rather just take that away from people and just be like, it's cool, man, just relax. Yeah.
That would have already been ingrained in you, though. You would have always been like, I want to help other people out, because even when that money comes and that power, because it gives you power, and if you're a dickhead, like, it gives you power, you're gonna feel like you have control over people just because you have more money than them.
Yeah, like I really don't look at someone and think I'm above you or you're above me. Realistically, we're all human beings. Do you know what I mean? So if money was to be completely wiped off this earth for tomorrow, everybody's going to be financially equal, and then there's going to be a new balance of what the big thing is in life. Because at the moment, that's what everything's driving around, like this whole money thing. How much money can you earn? What's your assets? What you own? But if that was gone, then what's important? And again, it comes back to relationships and love, support, and living in the moment.
100%. Like, that's the main things in life, and that's always what you should remember. Whatever you're striving for, if someone's watching this, if you're most likely an entrepreneur, like it's an entrepreneur podcast. So if you're watching this, you know, you want to be something better, but this is the most important thing you have to remember.
Yeah.
Forget all the money and the success that's going to come, but as long as you have that, then that will give you contentment, I think.
Yeah. Get up, do it, have fun, worry about everything else afterwards.
AGA, acceptance, gratefulness, action.
Deuces.
Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next episode. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below what you enjoyed about the episode, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.